I'm going to delete this video from my channel within a few days, and the reason for that is because I'm going to share with you my personal exit strategy for the next few weeks of crypto, and I don't want too many people to be using the same thing. Make sure you watch this video to the end because we've already seen this cycle, how altcoins can go into a bear market within the space of just a few weeks. Earlier this year, many of them went down 80 or 90%, whilst Bitcoin still stayed relatively strong. And if you don't want to experience that again, pay close attention. I focus on selling leg by leg. For example, in January 2025, I 100% knew the cycle wasn't over and would continue eventually, but I still heavily de-risked my portfolio. If I hadn't done that, I'd have lost a ton of money. So yes, this video isn't about selling the entire cycle top. This video is for people who want to get out of the market before their altcoins do a minus 80% drop. So before we start this video, nothing here is financial advice and I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, so let's start from first principles. What are we here to do in crypto? It's 4 words. We're here to buy low and sell high. So all we need to do is figure out when prices are high and just sell. It sounds really simple in theory, but it's tricky to pull off. But what if I told you there's a very simple system that we could use that could guarantee that we take profit and do well in the market? I believe I found such a system and I'm going to share it with you in this video right now. So let me ask you this. What do most YouTubers or people rely on to tell them when to get out of the market? It's usually signals or indicators, right? I think the simple RSI is one of the most effective tools in telling you when to consider taking profits. Now at this point you might be thinking, wow, all of this hype just to talk about the RSI, but just give me a chance. Once you see where I'm going with this, I think you're going to start using this in your own altcoins to decide when to sell. Because if we go back to first principles, all we need to do is sell when the prices are high. And what better indicator than the RSI to tell us when prices have gone high? All the RSI does is it tells you how quickly and how powerfully prices have moved away from its recent average. So on an altcoin, when the RSI goes red hot and it goes really high into the danger zone, you can easily say, okay, compared to the past, this coin's price has gone high. And again, that's all we care about and all we need to know to take profit. But, and this is a massive caveat, it's not as simple as looking at any altcoin and selling as soon as the RSI goes green. It's never that simple and that strategy won't work. Remember, the clue is in what this actually is. It's an indicator. It just indicates to us what to do. So what I'm going to do for you now is I'm going to share my full exit system for this leg based upon RSI. This is the general framework. I'm going to wait patiently. So for the next few weeks into August, I'm going to wait for the RSI on my altcoins to go into the overbought green region, aka the danger zone. If it doesn't get there, I don't need to take profit because the chart is literally telling me that prices haven't gone high. And my only purpose as a crypto investor is to buy low and sell high. So yes, once the RSI goes into the danger zone again, I'm going to begin the rest of my analysis. So you see what I did there? I didn't say, okay, once the RSI goes into the green, let's sell everything. No, this is just what activates me to get into the mindset of taking profit. So if towards the end of August, I start to see something like this on my altcoins, I'm going to get into the mindset of, okay, I need to investigate whether or not I need to sell right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to combine this RSI strategy with market context and leg timing analysis. Because when you combine all those different things, this exit strategy becomes really powerful. So make sure you watch it all. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you how to use the RSI with a bit more advanced technique with a few examples. So the first example is Bonk back in November 2024. This was really hard to take profits on because it topped 1 month before the entire market and it only went to 4 bill in market cap. That's why I like this RSI method. It leaves you less exposed to blind spots. Like instead of waiting for the market cap to hit a specific figure on your altcoin, you just see that the price has gone high and you start scaling out. Anyways, with Bonk, it first went into the danger zone of the RSI, and then after that, it still managed to give another 70% pump. So if you sold everything as soon as it went into the danger zone, you'd have missed out on really big gains. So here I bring you my first rule of the RSI strategy. Once it goes into the danger zone, start selling chunks over a 7 to 14 day period, because that way you won't miss out on the extra momentum that comes through. The second example I'm going to show you is a Coinbase coin that I called in premium a few weeks ago. Take a look at this one's RSI as it did a 3.5x. When it went into the danger zone, it only stayed there for like 1 day. So if you did what I just said with Bunk and scaled out over a 7 to 14 day period, you'd have missed out on a lot of gains as it quickly gave back a lot of the profits. But here's the most important thing. Check out the speed of the rally for this Coinbase coin. It did that rally in like 6 days. And if you even compare that to Bunk also did a 3.5x, but it took a lot longer. It took about 17 days. So therefore, we can add a new rule to our RSI system, which is if the RSI goes from low to the danger zone too fast, we must take profits more aggressively, not over 7 to 14 days. So just to show you again, look how this shot up so fast within 6 days. If that happens again in any of your altcoins where it's like under a week is giving a 3 to 4x, you got to be taking profits, especially if it goes into the danger zone. So I hope you can now start to see where I'm going with this. Only a fool would have such a simple system to sell when the RSI just goes into the danger zone. But once you can think intelligently and you can consider the context of the rally in terms of the speed and the gains, then you can become very skilled in using the RSI. I'll give you one more example, and I think this will blow your mind. I called Syrup in premium, and this coin just destroyed the whole market. But I took profits quite early because I already made a 3x on this coin last year, where it was called MPL. And then I made another 3x. So that was a total 9x for me. And I was happy with the profit. I saw that the RSI was red hot on the daily. It was logical to take profits, right? But here's the key mistake I made. Check out the way Syrup's RSI had built up as it went into the danger zone. Check out how many days it took. It took 32 days to build up that rally. Remember, the slower the rally, the more healthy it is. This coin took 32 days to give this rally, whereas a coin like Dog, which retraced all gains, only took 6 days. So the slower the rally, the more healthy it is. Also, one more important thing. Check out over here. The RSI pumps and then it resets back to the midline and then it goes again. When it does that, it's extremely healthy, and it's a good sign that even if the RSI does go into the danger zone, it's not a real warning signal. And for added confluence, just compare it to Bunk's RSI when it did that massive move. No pullbacks, no real retests in the RSI, and it was really short. It was only 17 days compared to this one's double that time period. Now you can start to see that when you combine the understanding of speed and structure with the RSI, you can become really good at using this tool for your own altcoins to exit. The power in this strategy isn't the RSI. I don't really care about the RSI. There's plenty of indicators that simply reflect how much the price has moved from the mean. All these indicators, they pretty much say the same thing. I can give you 50 different indicators right now and say, make sure you check all of these off. But what's the point sharing funding rate data, open interest, etc., when you can just look at one simple thing that literally tells you prices are high and you need to start investigating? The power is in the context and your understanding of it. It's better to master one tool than to rely on 50 different tools that you don't really know much about. And when you combine this RSI strategy with what I'm about to show you next, you're not going to suffer minus 80% crashes in your portfolio again. Also at this point, if you like what I've been showing you regarding the RSI strategy, or you can at least appreciate that it's different to what you've seen before, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be making videos specifically telling you when I sell in the next few weeks. So make sure you subscribe and don't miss that. I heavily de-risked my portfolio in January, and I also mentioned it in my YouTube video. My only regret is not making more videos around this time, sharing what I did with my portfolio, and I'm not going to repeat that mistake again. I think there's a great deal to gain from being the guy who helps people avoid mega crashes, so that's my goal this time around. The second part of this video, and what I want to show you, is the additional context. This RSI strategy to sell on its own is really good, but you need the knowledge of the market conditions and you need to know how long each rally is likely to last. For example, if you watch my video 2 days ago, you'll see how I was calling for a potential major local top in late August. And the tools I used to assess that was leg timing analysis and also looking forward to future narratives that the market will price in. To put it simply, this cycle so far around the 150-day mark, 140 to 150-day mark, every rally this cycle has had a major pullback. If we count April 7th as the start of this rally, the 140 to 150-day mark this time is around late August. That doesn't mean it's going to pull back on its own, but we do need to keep it in mind. The second thing we need to look for is what narratives is the market currently pricing in. In the last major leg, the major narrative that was on everyone's mind was the Trump inauguration. Before that, it was the Bitcoin halving. I think rate cuts this time could be a major narrative. And every time we have a major narrative in crypto that the market rallies into, it tops around 2 to 3 weeks before the actual event. So September 17th is the highest likelihood that we get the first cut. 2 to 3 weeks before this is around again late August. Now there's one powerful piece of the puzzle that can really help you nail this exit strategy, which is, you know how people will look forward to and point out good events coming for the market, like, oh, Trump is getting into the office, he's going to start a Bitcoin reserve, and the rate cuts are going to inject liquidity into the markets. No one ever points out negative catalysts. And this is something I learned from earlier this year. Very few people were pointing out how much volatility the Trump tariffs could create when he actually starts implementing them. So keeping a sharp eye and looking ahead for future negative events that could cause the market to crash will give you even more conviction to sell. I'll give you a personal example. When the Trump meme coin launched, I sold most of my SOL around 260. I was greedy in not selling at 300 because I really thought with how big the Trump meme coin was, SOL could get to 400. But I didn't realize or remember during the heat of the moment with how crazy this day was, that SOL had massive unlocks to come in about 6 weeks. And that was FUD that inevitably in 6 weeks, no matter what happens now, would scare the market. And that would have given me more conviction to sell. And all I had to do was look ahead to see what negative catalysts are coming into the market. So if we combine the RSI being in the danger zone for our altcoins with the structure being risky and unhealthy, and then we've also got warning signs from leg timing analysis, the market pricing in the rate cuts and everyone talking about it, and then there's also a negative catalyst coming for the market in the future that people aren't talking about, you begin to see how you have a powerful, mechanical, complete exit strategy that's not only technical, but it actually looks at real time what's happening in the market and it forecasts and looks ahead for what might happen. This is really my own exit strategy, and I'm going to be applying this to every altcoin that I hold. And something important I'd like to add is you need to use this exit strategy for each of your coins individually. Stop trying to do this magic thing where you suddenly decide the whole market stopped. That's way too hard. Like, look at Bong, for example, last year. It topped 1 month earlier than the rest of the market. You've got to treat each of these altcoins individually. Let me give you a real-time example for everyone who's holding a coin in their portfolio that they don't want. Just imagine that this is your altcoin that's in your portfolio and you hit it. Let's say at the end of August, the RSI for a coin like this, let's say Beam, is in the danger zone. It's at high time frame, major resistance. The leg timing analysis says that we're due a pullback across the board for the market. And then we can also see the entire market is pricing in the September rate cuts. That's a very good basket of confidence to say, okay, the risk to reward of continuing to hold this higher is not very good. That's why I've been saying and will continue to say the next rally will be a great time to exit bad altcoins, and it will be much easier for you if you use this RSI strategy. I've never seen a market top without the RSI going green first. And I should also mention at this point, if you're holding altcoins that you don't want anymore and you're feeling unsure when to dump them, join Premium. I'll leave the link to it in the pinned comments. And then you can see there where I start taking profits and sell my own altcoins. I'll give you a full detailed breakdown in real time of everything I've shared in this video and share all the warning signs I see. Okay, now I'm going to share something a little bit different to the exit strategy I've shown so far. I call what I'm about to show now the kill switch. This is when you start taking profits across your entire portfolio. Remember how I just said try and sell your altcoins individually and treat them individually? When the kill switch is activated, you just sell everything. And there's a few ways in which my kill switch is activated. And the first one is when we see extreme greed or euphoria in the market. And the last time we saw that was with the Trump meme coin. I de-risked my portfolio a lot around that time. But because I knew, and I was even saying it in Premium, that the Melania coin destroyed the entire market and there was going to be serious fallout. And I also made a video saying the Trump meme coin would crash the entire market. Again, when I see crazy euphoria, I'll make a tweet or let you know on X. So make sure you follow me there too. I can get things out a lot faster than I can here on YouTube. The second thing that activates my kill switch is if we see the RSI having gone into the danger zone, let's say for whatever reason we didn't take profit, if after that we start to see the coin lose the daily trend, remember the daily trend is the 25 EMA, we need to cut our positions. But it's easier said than done when you're up $20,000 on a position up here, and then once it loses its daily trend, you're only up $8,000. A lot of taking profit in crypto is psychological, and that's why what this video needs is a part 2 where I'm going to discuss a lot more with the specifics. For example, how do you actually sell? What percentage do you sell over a period of X number of days? How do you know who to listen to and who to ignore when it's actually time to take profits at the danger zones? There's a whole other side to this video alone that you need to watch, and I'll upload in 2 days, so subscribe right now. One more thing that activates my kill switch is the USDT dominance. I think for this leg, when the USDT dominance goes to this specific level, it might be really prudent to take profits. And I think you 100% gotta be getting out of the market when the USDT dominance reaches November 2021 levels. I think that's going to be a real entire cycle top signal. That basically tells you there's very little free cash left in the market to invest. So make sure you take screenshots of this chart or save this video to remember this. My final kill switch is my YouTube views and also just tracking crypto influencer income from all the services that they sell. You guys can't see that info, but I can. And when I see it's in the danger zone and it's gone too high, I'm 100% gonna let you know, so don't worry. But finally, this RSI method, in my opinion, is the simplest and cleanest way to develop your own exit strategy, because it strips away all the BS of having to listen to influencers. If you relied on influencers to tell you when to take profit, you'll never do it. And if you take anything from this video, please take this one line. If you're ever in a situation in crypto where you made money in an altcoin and you're really happy, but the RSI is in the danger zone, just start taking profit. Start taking profit immediately or scale out over a period of 1 to 2 weeks. Make sure you subscribe for part 2, and thank you for watching to the end.